What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Cobra Kai Season 4 video review. There will be no spoilers in this review as I am dropping a spoiler breakdown on the day of release, and Netflix were very kind enough to provide the season ahead of time for me, so I had time to do a review and a spoiler breakdown like I usually do. Now, last season ended with Cobra Kai taken over by Kreese, and it's all to play for as whoever doesn't win the All Valley tournament has to close their dojo. The whole organisers behind the All Valley this season were very, very funny. So Kreese calls up Terry Silver, as we saw in the trailer, the absolute psycho from the previous movies, and Johnny and Daniel need to work together and combine dojos to beat Cobra Kai. This definitely feels like the culmination of the entire franchise, right back from Karate Kid 1 to now. Everything has been leading up to the All Valley tournament, and it certainly does not disappoint with the final battle between the dojos. Now, this season was a masterclass in how to balance nostalgia and, make a good show. We had a lot of, whole footage from the other movies and the seasons, and it was dropped in expertly, unlike The Matrix Resurrections, which was just an absolute nostalgia-fueled mess. Cobra Kai is one of the only shows I can think of that gets better every single season, except maybe Atlanta or Mr. Robot. While the first season was a YouTube Red production, essentially expanding upon a viral theory that Daniel was the bad guy, well, this has so many ridiculously storylines going on at once, I was fully invested in each one, and we even get a new character introduced, which leads to a touching story that has Robbie on his journey of self-discovery, and he was the absolute OG. He was so good in this season. Like I said, this is very much Robbie's season. While last season brought in ideas from the Karate Kid 2 with Okinawa's visit, this is very much Karate Kid 3. I mean, that makes sense as Terry Silver has returned, the psycho business leader turned teenage torturer, as Robbie needs to discover himself and goes in pretty much the same journey as Daniel did in that movie. He and the rest of the cast have come into their own, and the writing and acting somehow make me totally invested in the teenage high school drama. It might be that the show, while dealing with heavy emotions, is incredibly self-aware, with Terry Silver basically saying how ridiculous his actions were in the third movie, and we even have Johnny talk about another 80s iconic movie and how the bad guy in that was actually the good guy, which was really, really funny. Now, Johnny Lawrence is just absolutely hilarious in this as a total fish out of water. A sort of California man here with Brendan Fraser coming from the 80s to now. While the good guy, bad guy dynamic of the 80s was so very black and white, Cobra Kai over the seasons has done a great job of blurring the lines of who actually is good and evil. This leads to Tori having one hell of a story arc, and even we have the brother of Sam having some extra screen time, leading to a new character having the best subplot across all of the seasons. Tori and Robbie must discover themselves and that the world isn't all that bad and anger isn't all the way. They need to have balance, with that being the central theme of the show and delivered expertly. Also discovering themselves more is Martin Cove's Kreese, who absolutely nails his evolution from the cigar-smoking 80s bad guy to where he lands at the end of Season 4 is absolutely something to behold. The season, like I said, is about balance, but also doing things your way after being given all the tools to make your choices. While I've picked out a few of the major stories to mention, every character does expand here, and the level of tension is just too much. There is nearly no wasted space or time, and while the show moves very fast, there is a risk of the expanding cast becoming far too much for 10 35-minute episodes. But the highlight is the reintroduction of Terry, who while starts off in a direction I was not expecting, he fast moves into someone and an evolution of his 80s version there. This is all about learning from the past, and it is just some freaking superb writing. The swapping of sides and such did become a bit tiresome, but once you see where it goes at the end, it all makes sense and has twists and turns that kept me wanting to watch just one more episode when I should have gone to bed. It will be interesting to see where it goes, but provides not only a satisfying end, but a fun ideas of where it's going to go next. There was a part I was expecting someone like Hilary Swank to reprise her role in Karate Kid 4, but there is a tease of possibly who could be coming next, another franchise character, and if you're a fan of it and have seen all the movies, you will know exactly where this is going. It's rare that I don't have any bad things to say about the show. Admittedly, I did receive this as a screener from Netflix, and I am a huge fan watching the original movies as some of my most treasured moments with my father in the 90s, but I have really not that much bad to say about it. The only thing I would say is that this is just absolutely ridiculous and over the top, but the show is so self-aware that it does work. I will always be honest about this, but it was a rare total joy from beginning to end, and I am super pumped to see where this goes next. But that is it for this video. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you're most excited about for Season 4, and if you had any predictions for Season 5 already. But I'll see you soon, and goodbye.